Hello everyone. Welcome to the May 2nd Rook Community Meeting, 2023. I'll start sharing my screen with the agenda and then we'll get going here. All right. Oh, there's an issue with the date. It is May 2nd. All right, May 2nd. Here we go. So first to talk about the 1.10 release. We did have the 1.10.13 release about a month ago, and the new release is not planned yet. I don't know of any issues that need to be fixed in the 1.10 branch, but if there are, we can certainly still consider a release at this point. Yeah, if there is an issue, we just need to get it in the project board and make sure it's visible there. Any comments on the 1.10 release? Yeah, I think it's pretty stable and focuses on 1.11. So, all right, so then for 1.11, since we haven't met for a month now, we have had 2 releases since the last meeting, 0.3 and 0.4. And then today, we're planning on doing the 0.5 release. So it's been over 2 weeks already since we released just before KubeCon a couple weeks ago. Well, KubeCon was already a couple weeks ago. And then, yep, we'll get that out today. I think we've got a couple more fixes to merge, and then we'll be ready to go with that release. I guess I should look at the project board real quick and see what's happening. Yep, so this one from Parth, we have a fix for to retry creating the dashboard. And then no other issues in blocking at least. All right, yeah, any other issues for 1.11 that people wanted to bring up? Yeah, there's a few other things in progress or under investigation, but I think none of them are urgent. All right. So going back to, oops, I lost my agenda. There we go. Moving on to 1.12 then. So we tentatively want to release every 4 months. Our last release was it March? So that would put us into July. So I think tentatively around mid-July is when we want to plan on 1.12. So we're looking at about 2 months out, and really until now we've had a lot of focus on 1.11 bug fixes and small features there. So I think it's time to turn our focus more to 1.12 and plan out our features. I wanted to open a roadmap PR in the next couple of days and just make sure we have features added to the roadmap doc so we can know what we're planning towards. And yeah, looking forward to input on what features you might be planning on. Like I know, Blaine, you're working on NFS stuff, but anyway, we've got some other stuff out of bound, like the crew plugin we're working on. But any other thoughts on 1.12 and that release timeline? All right. Looks like we're on the same page then for that topic. Moving on to the community topics and questions. The first one I just wanted to put on here is that, so our Slack, for people to sign up for Slack right now, we are using a link on the site that Alexander created after our Slacken plugin stopped working a couple months ago. That is working, but the link will expire at some point. So we want to go back to a solution that doesn't require that expired link to be there. So there was a prototype done by Alvaro, I think, from the Ceph team, who was looking at it for the Ceph Slack, and he found the Slacken extended plugin seemed to work well. We just need to get that set up again. And I talked to Jared last week. He'll plan on doing that. He's just on PTO this week, so we'll get back to that probably next week to get that set up, because he's going to do it for Crossplane at the same time. And so yeah, thought we'd wait for him to do that for Rook as well. Any comments about that Slack sign up? Okay, then maybe the more interesting topic. So we talk about KubeCon Amsterdam and retrospective on how that worked. I just want to say thanks everyone for the talk. I think Blaine, Topeka, Alexander, and I we had a good time with the talk. When we walked into the room, actually, we were about 10 minutes early, and the room was already completely full, standing room only. So there was a lot of interest there. And it turns out, we realized later there had been like 650 people signed up for the talk. The room only had 72 seats, so they gave us a much smaller room than would have been useful. So I'm definitely going to follow up with Amy next time I meet with her from CNCF and make sure we can get a bigger room next time. But overall, yeah, it was great. I think the format for question and answer with the panel, thought that worked well. A little different way to do things, but yeah, had a good time. Blaine, you were there. Comments on it?
I thought it went great. I mean, other than having almost an order of magnitude fewer seats, there was a lot of interest and quite a number of questions afterwards. And I also thought it was a nice, like, it was kind of refreshing to deliver a bit of a different talk, and I think hopefully good for the community to see like 4 people from the Rook community engaged from 2 different companies. I assume that's a good thing for people who may be concerned about any, one entity having too much like influence, or concerns about the activeness of the community.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally agreed. And with the maintainer talks, I think they also required that no more than 2 could be from the same company if we had a panel. So anyway, that's just a good community environment where they obviously want to foster that across companies. So it's all good. And also for the booth, I had a good time with Alexander and Topeka, and you and a couple others. Yuval was there, helping the booth a little bit from the RGW team. The traffic did seem a bit light at the booth compared to past years. I think it was because the booths where they had the project pavilion with the CNCF projects, they were kind of off to the side or harder to discover, not kind of in the main room. So that was just kind of how the layout worked out. So, but it was fine. We had lots of good conversations. And yesterday, well, also at the conference, Yuval was telling us about someone that he talked to at the booth while we were having our Rook talk, that they have a Kubernetes cluster where each are running on drones, drones flying around like picking fruit, and each drone is a node in the Kubernetes cluster, and they want to use Ceph storage on those drones with Rook, and it just sounds like a really interesting scenario. So I'm curious to follow up and hear more and talk to those people about what they're doing with that. That just sounds crazy to me, that scenario, but kind of cool. Let's see. Anything to add on the booth, Blaine?
No, I think that's a pretty good summary of the booth. Yeah, I do hope we can get some more traffic in, coming KubeCons. I think probably Chicago in September.
Let's see, actually, September was China and November was Chicago, and then March will be Paris.
Okay.
As I recall. But
cool. Yeah, I assume travel to China will be a little hard to put together.
Yeah, and if any Rook maintainers, I'm curious if Alexander or others from his team would be interested in going. But yeah, I think I'll pass on that one too, and see if we can do Chicago and then Paris. Yeah, otherwise, I guess that was my first conference since in the last few years since COVID stuff. So it was nice to be. It was definitely nice to be in person again. And, yeah, just have those face-to-face conversations. Okay. Any other thoughts on KubeCon? Anyone? All right. Well, it was kind of a short agenda today. Is there any other questions that anybody'd like to bring up? Or others that would like to say hello? Welcome, everyone. Josh, you're a new face. Welcome.
Hi. First time I've actually made it to this meeting. It's been in my calendar for a long time.
Oh, great.
I guess I could add one thing to the agenda. There's the PR from way back when to add LDAP support for RGW. I think that this is finally ready to be updated. It still has the label needs design document on it. I didn't want to just delete it without talking to you, Travis, but I assume I just need to rebase, get the test running again, and this PR might be ready to go.
Yeah, I think it just got forgotten, unfortunately. So we just need to get back to it, finish it off. I can't think specifically right now what's left with it, but yeah, sounds good to give it some attention.
Yeah,
is that the one you started last fall? It's been a while, right?
Well, I kind of stole it from Joffrey, I think.
Okay.
And kind of did the work to get some integration tests and stuff into it. And so I think we decided not to merge it because you wanted a design document to be merged first, and that went in a month ago. So I think I just need to rebase it and fix any conflicts, get tests working again, and I think it's ready. But just wanted to make sure before I put time into it again that was the last holdup.
Okay.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, what was the PR number on that?
I just linked it in chat. It's 11091.
Okay.
Yeah. And the design doc that is merged was 11320. Yeah, I will. I'll take a look at those. I've opened up the PRs and I'll take a look at those also. To make sure that you're not blocked there.
Mm-hmm. Great. Sounds good.
Sorry, I said Joffrey. I meant Jiffin. Apologize for butchering his name.
Oh yeah, Jiffin. Right. Okay. Yeah, we'll get back to that then. Let's make sure it gets some attention.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Anyone else that wants to introduce themselves or bring up a topic? I think I recognize most other people on the call. Going once, going twice. All right, if that's it, thanks everyone for coming today, and we'll see you in Slack or other meetings. Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you.
See ya.